First off, ooh, I got a new headset. The fuck? I got a new headset, and because my old one kind of broke, the sound quality fucked up. This thing was loose. Let me know how the sound quality is. Anyways, I'm here to talk about Kevin Smith's Red State, which he's been touring around the country, doing a very untraditional like release for, and it has just come out on demand on Comcast and a bunch of other rental services. I watched it on demand, and it was $10. I think it was worth it, but God, it's such a hard movie to talk about because it's impossible for me to separate my feelings about Kevin Smith as a filmmaker and this and that from the film itself. I would have loved to have just seen the movie and not know anything about it or not know who was behind it and then make my assessment. It would probably be a little. I don't know. I can't say if it would be less approving or whatever of it. It's just I can't separate the fact that Kevin Smith did this movie for good or bad. But I mean, I'll get it out of the way. I'm a huge fan of Kevin Smith. I've always have been. I think he's one of the like our generation of filmmakers. He's like the voice of my generation. You know, I saw Clerks when it came out. I was I think 12 or 13, and I've followed him through his career. And I've always really enjoyed his films. I think that, I love Clerks. I love Chasing Amy. I love Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I think Clerks 2 is a masterpiece. That's like pretty good batting average for him. The only ones I thought Dogma is okay. I haven't seen Jersey Girl. I thought Cop Out was terrible, but I mean he's got a pretty good batting average, and there's something special about his movies. There's something special about him as a filmmaker. He's even fun to watch as a personality outside of his films. He does these Q&As and these college tours and all this around the country, and those are really fun to watch. Like they have some of it on Netflix, so you can watch it instantly. Where it's just him doing Q&As and really funny. It's almost like stand-up comedy, and it's really good. So I have a big attachment to Kevin Smith and his films, and I really was looking forward to Red State. I was very, I don't know, reluctant or whatever. I don't know what the word is, but I was a little wary of Red State because it's something so different for him. But I'm still super interested in it because it's him doing it. And this is Kevin Smith's stab at a horror film, is what it was supposed to be, about religious fundamentalism and these kids that get sucked into it. And, but the thing is, as much as he built it up as a horror film and this and that, it's only really a horror film for like the first 30 minutes. And then I think it kind of turns into like a politically driven thriller about like a Waco like standoff. That's what the film is. So if you take anything out of this whole review I did, take the last 10 seconds. But um, basically, these guys, they're high school kids living in I forgot what the state was, but it's like in a rural area kind of a state, and one of them finds a girl online that's willing to have sex with all three of them. And the girl's Melissa Leo. She's an older chick, but they made a girl look good in it, like for what she is, for like a white trash chick. And they go to have sex with her, and they get rounded up by this crazy religious group. Kind of like, I forgot the guy's name that runs them, but the group that holds the signs outside of funerals for gay people or whatever. I'm totally fucking this up, but uh, and then they're getting tortured by them kind of and killed, and then the ATF shows up, and the federal government is trying to take them down. Most of the movie does not have to do with the kids who get kidnapped and most of it has to do with like the standoff between this crazy religious group and the federal government. And it's kind of a flaw of the film because I think that they could have gotten more out of the horror aspect. They could have gotten more out of the kids that are trapped. But unfortunately, Kevin Smith, he doesn't develop these kids at all. They're there for the setup, they get trapped, and then stuff starts happening. I don't want to spoil anything in this review, but it's kind of, I think, one of the flaws of the film is it doesn't develop any one portion of it enough. It's and it's not really a totally a horror film or anything else. It's kind of like a mishmash, which is not a bad. That's not. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that if you made the kids that get kidnapped by this group stronger characters, it would have worked a lot better. Is what I'm saying. Because crazy things happen. No one is safe in the film. It's very daring in that respect. I like a film where no one is safe, and in Red State, no one is safe. At the same time, though, when bad things happen, you're not as invested in the characters because they're not really characters. There's too much going on. But it's like, let's say you've seen all of Kevin Smith films. This is by far his best directed film. It's not my favorite. Like I said, I think Clerks 2 is a masterpiece. But this is his best directed film. It's very well shot, well photographed. Editing is good, and it's Kevin Smith editing, and he does a great editing job on it. It feels like something that he wouldn't do. It feels like a Quentin Tarantino flick or something. And that's what he's kind of doing an homage to. And yet it's still Kevin Smith at his heart. And if you go in knowing it's Kevin Smith and you know a lot about him, you'll see his marks on the film. There's little bits of humor, and you can feel it's his humor. There's the statement about like religion and the statement about religious fanatics and how they view gay people. If you know Kevin Smith at all, it's you're gonna understand. Oh, that's where it's coming from. But other than that, you would if you went in if someone just turned on the TV and there was Red State playing, and they didn't know shit about it. Even if they knew Kevin Smith, they would never think this was a Kevin Smith film. And that's something to praise. I think it's a pretty amazing and pretty impressive effort that he puts forward here. It's so different, and it's ambitious, and he's stretching his wings and trying something different, and he generally does a good job with it. Like, even if you didn't know it was Kevin Smith, there's a good chance you're gonna walk away from this thinking that was a pretty good flick. It's not perfect, it's not great. It's just like I said, if you're doing it as subjectively as possible, you know nothing about Kevin Smith, and you just watch it, you'll be like, oh, that was pretty good. If you have conservative like political views, you might be turned off by it, but I don't at all. So I had no problem with that. I was totally on board with Kevin Smith's message. But just very stylishly shot, fun time, crazy shit going on. The standoff is fun. What's his name? Something Parks plays the crazy preacher or whatever in the group. What's his name? I don't know. Something Parks. He's the crazy preacher. He's really Michael Parks. He's really good in it. And he's given. There's one scene I think could have been trimmed. That's after they kidnap the kids, and they have them like locked up, and they're at the front of the church, and he's doing a sermon. And Kevin Smith lets the sermon go on too long. He's kind of showing off his knowledge of the Bible or whatever, and this and that. and it just kind of goes on too long. It's kind of like a 10, 15-minute thing where this guy's giving a sermon, and it's kind of stupid. Other than that, though, I generally liked it. And, besides the other things I thought were troublesome about it. Melissa Leo was very good as the white trash girl. Or I think it's she plays his daughter, the preacher's daughter. And then you have John Goodman as the ATF agent, who is very good in it. Just very good natural performance. He's got a lot of character to his face and the way he speaks and everything. John Goodman, he's as good dramatically, I think, as he is comedically. And here he gets to do drama. He's very good. You have this other guy. I forgot his name, but I think he's like the stapler guy from Office Space. He plays a sheriff. I don't remember his name, but he's in it too, and he does a pretty good job. Another couple, I know I'm rambling on about this. I'm not doing a very good job explaining it, but it's a hard one for me to talk about. It's going to be hard for me to talk about it on Movie Dudes when we have to do like kind of a shorter, more standard review. I don't know what to say about it except I think you should see it. I think you should see it if it interests you at all, and I think you should see it if you're a Kevin Smith fan. It's kind of like a must see. Perfect, no, but ambitious and getting close to pretty damn good. It is. I don't know. I'm fucking this up, but and I think the last 15 minutes of it are very awesome. Some people thought like I remember seeing one review that was kind of like, oh, they ran out of money, or like, they didn't know what to do, and he just kind of like throws a bunch of bullshit together at the end. And I was like, I didn't feel that way at all. I thought the ending was very good. Without trying to spoil anything, it kind of throws you off balance. Characters you thought were safe or not. Things don't happen how you would expect. It kind of makes you comfortable with something happening, and then he like throws it out the window and does something else, which is good. It's what you want from a thriller. It's what you want from suspense. It's doing something that you don't expect, making you comfortable with one angle happening and then going the other route. There's a very good speech at the end that I think kind of sums up what the film is about, and from both sides, from both the government overstretching its bounds and also religion overstretching its bounds. It kind of combines them both, which is strange, but it works. And then the final shot, I thought it was pretty damn awesome. It kind of has like a punchline at the end of it, but it's kind of also the message of the film. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But really, I don't think this like. There's a lot of people that want to hate on this. There's a lot of people like me that are just very excited about it. But whatever camp you're in, it's not a film you could dismiss. I think it's very ambitious. I think it was actually quite good and fun. Not always fun, but never, ever less than interesting. This held my attention throughout, and I think I'm going to try to watch it again before my rental period on Comcast is up. But, I mean, if you're a Kevin Smith fan, and even if you're not, I'm kind of recommending that you should see this movie. I think it's worth it. It's a small movie. It's going to be hard to find, but it's not hard to find. It's on rental services, but you can't see it in theaters, but it's worth it. I think it was worthy of a theatrical release. And just Kevin Smith has just really matured as a director and as an editor, and the way he commands performances. I mean, this is just beyond anything he's done in those categories. And the writing, like, he's always been known as a good writer, but the writing here is more sparse. It is less exposition and people just talking and yapping. Yeah, there's the long scene with the preacher talking, but I've seen reviews where it said, oh, like all Kevin Smith movies, it's all exposition, and I did not feel that way at all. Like there's one reviewer that said he's showing or telling and not showing. I did not feel that way. I felt like he was showing. I felt like he finally understood a few things. Like I said, completely different than anything you'd expect from him, but really definitely worth watching. I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. I was leaning towards 4, but I don't want to oversell it. Regardless, it's worth seeing.